Welcome back to WeVision. Every year we have Jim Handy from Objective Analysis in to come in and talk about the forecast for the next year, following year in memory. And Jim's one of the world's top memory experts, and he's usually been pretty good about figuring out where the trends are and everything, but like all of us in forecasting, you know, we live in glass houses, so. But anyway, welcome back to the program, Jim, and really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. And but you always like to start off with what you said last year. So why don't we start there? Last December, what was your forecast?
Well, first of all, thanks a lot for having me on again. You're very patient. So yeah, you know, like you said, I am going to talk a little bit about what our forecast was last December. And we had called for memory prices to stabilize in the middle of the year, and that certainly has happened. And I'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, but you know, that was as a result of capital spending shutting off in 2011. There was, you know, it seems like capital spending either is on or it's off in the memory business, and it was very much off in the second half of 2011. And so by the way that we look at things, you just add 2 years to that and it tells you when there's likely to be a shortage. And it did happen. We had, you know, the demand catch up in the middle of 2013 with what the available capacity was, and as a result the prices stabilized. They stabilized actually higher than where we were expecting them to do. So for example, we said the DRAM prices would stabilize at $4 per gigabyte, and they actually stabilized around $6.50 per gigabyte. We said that NAND Flash would stabilize at 27 cents per gigabyte, which we thought was on the low end of what manufacturing costs were, production costs. But after Toshiba announced their shutting off of flash production in 2012, there was actually a pretty strong response to that, and it ended up that we had 40 cents per gigabyte pretty much all the way through 2013. As a result of that, we said that memory market revenue would grow by 20%, and that would drive semiconductor revenues to grow by a number approaching 10%. And it looks like the year is going to end probably around 7%, somewhere in that area. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's lower, a little bit lower than we said. Megabyte consumption is a little bit lower than what we thought it was going to be. But
memory had a rocking year, which is what you said.
Yeah.
So did the Hynix fire have any?
It was interesting how little impact the Hynix fire had. I was watching spot market prices very intently after that, and it didn't seem like they really varied anywhere near as much as anybody would think. So, you know, it's interesting with that, and also with the whole Elpida bankruptcy and how that turned out. You kind of would have expected to have some impact, but it didn't really cause any massive triggers. It isn't like it was a tipping point for anything that was going on.